Hello, it's Natasha Bailey from Soul Mission here. And today's video is about the fact that I had a soul walk in. Now, was it due to the CV cold or due to Ascension? I don't know. But let me share what happened and also share with you what a soul walk in experience is like. And I'd love to hear from you guys what your experience was, or if you're curious as to what that is about. So, this January, um, I had a bad cold flu. Now, it could have been the bad cold flu that has been floating about in the past 2 years, possibly. Um, but let me explain what happened. So I was coming out of some shops sort of early-ish January, and I had been developing this slight sore throat. The previous day I had gone out, and the temperature had really dropped here significantly in London. And even though I put on a warm coat, even though I had put on a scarf, I felt the cold wind hit me in the throat. Anyway, the following day, as I was coming out of a shop, I suddenly felt this massive energy wave come right through the top of my head. And I immediately felt high, like a pulling sensation, very, very high. I was slightly dizzy. And I just stopped and got my bearings. And I thought, what the heck is going on? So I knew something significant was happening. So when I got home, I got my pendulum out and I asked my higher self, hey, what's happening? And I was told that forces of light are working on me and that this was destined and something that was arranged, that it was supposed to happen. So I accepted that. And over the next couple of days, my slight sore throat developed into a bad cold with a migraine. And then it developed into a fever for about 1 day, about just over 38 degrees centigrade, so a light fever. And during that time, it felt like I just had to take a time out. And during that time, I felt a lot of things being released from me. So old patterns, old behaviors, I was processing grief. And I just felt that that was all being released because when I thought about the things that had caused me grief in my life, I no longer felt, the intensity of it. It just wasn't there. So the things that I had been contemplating just didn't seem that important anymore. And so this went on for about 10 days. And eventually I did get tested. And the test did come back positive. So whatever that means, yeah, there are different kind of opinions about the reliability of the tests. I'm not going to go into that here. I'm simply sharing my experience. But what I also experienced was I checked with my soul and my higher self, how many strands of DNA have I got activated now? So why is that significant? Well, the number of strands of DNA that you've got activated reflects to a certain extent the level of consciousness that you are rising into. So I have been, up until recently, an indigo 2 type soul matrix structure. So they typically have a template of up to 24 strands. So they have a 24 strand template, and depending on their level of development, they are partially activated or, fully activated. So I checked with my pendulum, and I was told that I had a 48 strand template now. So I was just like, what the hell happened here? So I went from being an indigo 2 type soul matrix with 24 strands to an indigo type 1 with 48 strands. And I can just say that kind of the level of kind of surrender and peace, it's a different kind of experience. It's a different kind of experience. And also just a greater sense of trust, faith, and excitement about the future. So it's yeah. So it's possible to have a soul walk-in experience, because what happens is, once you have fulfilled your purpose with the soul matrix template that you've got, then that's it. That mission is now complete. So at this point, what can happen is people will get a new soul walking in with a new mission. So I'm still feeling into the energies and what that new mission will be like. But for now, I welcome any kind of thoughts or comments or questions that you have about this. Knowing your soul matrix structure is really useful, because depending on your soul matrix structure, it'll impact a little bit to what extent is your likely soul mission in life. And I say this because at the same time that I had a soul walk-in experience, one of my customers, who I later discovered was my was a soul customer, also had a walk-in experience pretty much at the same time. And she went from being an indigo type 3 contract with a 12-strand DNA template plus a Nephilim soul with a reverse 11 DNA strand template. She went from that to an indigo 2 type soul matrix contract with a 24 strand. Now, why is that significant? Because for a lot of millennials, they tend to have more of an indigo 3 style contract. And when they are housing, which is in effect 2 souls within one body, their own soul with the 12th strand of DNA, and the reverse DNA soul of a Nephilim soul, which is a fallen angelic soul, they go through a lot of inner turmoil and conflict, because you've got one soul of light and another soul of dark within one body, battling it out. So for those of you who are in this situation with a Nephilim soul contract, it's important to do the inner work and the healing work so that the soul contract is completed and you can move on from a lot of this kind of inner turmoil that you will experience. And for a lot of you, you'll experience it as negative energy interference. So please do come and check out what kind of soul matrix you have, because this will have a bearing on your soul mission and your soul purpose. So I hope you found this useful. I welcome your comments and feedback. And I will see you all very, very soon. Take care for now.